There's no time to be polite. Got a busy show. I'm Ben the host. You're Alex, so I've heard. Don't talk. Got a lot to go through. Lots of storylines. Lots of opinions. One thing I want to talk about in a minute is music.
Yes.
But before then, I'm going to let you all know that we are a podcast where we talk about EastEnders, the BBC soap. Not affiliated with it.
Officially unofficial.
We are.
That's the tagline. Hello everyone, by the way. Hello.
Yes. And we are talking about the episodes that were broadcast between the 19th and the 23rd of August, and polaring opinions online about this music business. So I want to get out of the way now, off my chest. Everything off.
Wow. Never seen so much flesh.
That's a bad idea. Put it back on. Been lots of there's a new director this week, I must say.
Yes.
He directed the whole week, which you could tell.
It showed.
Throughout the week, every episode this happened, there was incidental music over slow motion, glossy camera work.
There were also different framing as well.
I don't mind
Almost
that.
Very quite cinematic, some of the framing.
I like that. That's good. The music and slow motion. We had, at the beginning of the week, Ruby walking down the street in a coat to music in slow motion into Max's house.
Nice.
We had Mick Carter having a panic attack with sounds of metal behind him and flashing lights. Last week we had Bobby with these sound effects as well.
Yeah, but you said you liked that last week.
Yeah, that's because it was once, like a Julie's theme. We had Mel and Hunter walking slowly out of the club with music behind them, and we also had Bailey looking into the stars with music playing behind. That's quite a lot for 1 week's worth.
Okay, so we're quite polarised, is what you're trying to say with this. Because
because there was 5 accounts of it.
I agree with you that it had been done a lot. It had been done a lot this week.
Loses its spark.
It does, and less is more. However, I must admit, I only spotted the 2 instances of it, and that was the Bailey and the Mel scene.
That's because they're getting you used to it, you see. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, no, because these were the later ones, so you'd think you'd spot the early ones. And I thought with the Bailey one, I didn't think the music matched the moment, so it did feel a bit out of place. But with the Mel scene, I liked it. It
felt like a 9 p.m. BBC One drama, didn't it?
It did a little. It felt like a 6:30 Hollyoaks drama. It felt right for that matter. Like it was her trying to get out, without anyone finding out that she's propping up Hunter. I think it helped that the actual story of Mel and Hunter was exceptional, and surprisingly so. And I've said this on stories a billion times before. You hear a story, you hear a spoiler, you think...
It's not about the story, though.
But I think it worked because it was such an exceptional story. It's been told...
too much. 4 times in 1 week.
But the emotion, I mean, I suppose you were kind of fed the emotion, maybe, you could say, but
that's the trouble, isn't it? It's like you're being told how to feel, and they shouldn't have to rely... on Hollyoaks, they rely on that because
there's a good reason for that.
You need the music to feel emotion.
You need the music to feel what the heck
screen.
is happening on screen, yeah.
But on EastEnders, they've upped their game. They should trust themselves and trust the viewers that they'll feel these things without incidental music, I feel.
I mean, especially with Tamsin, this is what I mean with Tamsin Elfwaite, and I think it's kind of because Tamsin Elfwaite's performance this week was so good. With that scene, just that one scene with the music, because it felt quite isolated, it worked.
Yeah, but think how good that scene would have been on Friday if those other 3 ones didn't happen.
Oh, okay, I concur with you on that. Yes, if there hadn't
it would have felt special, like a Julia's theme.
Maybe this is this director's Julia's theme.
Well, that's the thing. If these were Julia's themes, we'd have 4 in one go. What would you be saying then?
Well, then I'd be saying it's overkill.
Yeah, see.
It's being saturated by Julia's theme, which we haven't had one of yet.
I know, we've got 4 of these.
Under the KO era. I love that. I saw someone tweeted that. They said the KO era, and I thought, I like that. I'm stealing that.
The last era.
Yeah.
Knockout.
Well, you were saying they're going to cancel EastEnders after this because of the music they're playing during the scene.
Well, I think it's only 1 week thing because the director did this week and he's not booked for any more yet. So I think it was more his artistic take rather than the BBC or whatever saying
or
do it.
Yeah, producers kind of pushing on it.
But everything else, his direction was really good. Some of the shots were really good, and we saw different angles that you don't normally see. And it did look very cinematic, which is fine. Just don't like these slow-mo. I just don't like it when it's glossy, especially when it's one scene in an episode, and then it goes to the next scene, which is then filmed normally. It's oh, what was that I just watched? It's
yeah, I know.
Takes
what you
me
mean.
out a bit. That was filmed really well, and then we're back to standard. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I think everyone has a.
It can all be filmed nice and well.
Well, in slow motion with music.
Well, no, not in slow motion, but with that whatever technique.
With a Vaseline lens, like the end of Murder, She Wrote.
But not just one scene out of 30.
No. I mean, everyone has... There's almost like a rule book, an unwritten rule book, which is, this is how EastEnders is made.
Gritty.
Gritty and dark and kind of grey. And I think that if you trying to change that rule book, people get a bit scared by the change. And so it's not like when you're introducing a new character or you're introducing a new story, which could be a little bit seen as a bit threatening or a bit frightening or scary to watch, or this is out of place of EastEnders. When it's something is filmed differently to the rule book of EastEnders, I think then people really feel quite threatened by it.
Like, why are you changing it?
But I think it was a brave step, and I'm glad he did it. I agree with you. Perhaps tone it down a little bit. Just do it, but not as often. Yeah. Your analogy of Julia's theme was spot on. If every episode had Julia's theme at the end of it, it would lose its uniqueness.
Exactly.
So maybe just do it now and then.
So we're going to start off with talking about the leading lady herself, Melanie Owen. She came in, stole a duff on a Thursday, and then took over Friday.
Yeah, basically,
how you do it.
It was a total takeover, and rightly so, because as I've already alluded to, the story that could have been nothing at all, just a way an out for Hunter and an out for Mel, has actually ended up being a gripping one.
Yeah, it's like you kind of written off Hunter, forgot about him. They could easily have not mentioned him again and just had like Dandelion leave or whatever they were going to do with Mel, but they've bothered to like bring the actor back, and looks like they've created like quite a dramatic storyline for him for his few weeks for his exit and her exit. So
they've released a bit of information, and if you go to our YouTube channel, if you haven't already, you can see there's a little snippet of perhaps a clue of what might be happening for the future with them, in the next coming couple of weeks. But really good. He's desperately trying to get in touch with his mum. His mum's not there to answer the phone, and so he then...
She was on the phone.
She was on the phone,
but out the door quick. She went out quick, didn't she?
Well, she had work to go to. She's busy. I mean, Mel is so, like, this week, at the beginning of the week, she was so nice to Billy. She was like, the takings are up, Billy.
Oh, that was so funny.
Have £20. I love you, Billy. And then to get one phone call, she just snaps and she just changes her personality. She's like, Billy, you're scum on my shoe. Get out.
It's like The Simpsons when like they clean the house and they walk through a door and the door swings and then the house is dirty again. That was a bit like Mel's personality.
The Sherry Bobbins episode.
Yeah, she was really happy, and then she walked out the door, walked back in, and she was horrible again. Ice Queen was back.
But this Ice Queen had a heart, because when she saw Hunter, she just melted, and she had to help him.
This is her Achilles heel, isn't he? Always has been.
But it's her only link to Steve, isn't it?
It's our only link to Steve.
Well, yes, I know.
That we know of.
We've surmised in the past that maybe Steve had a son or daughter with another woman.
Or he's still alive and he rolled out the car.
Well, yeah, unlikely. But
I mean, the one thing that I want to know is, where did this truck crash? And how was he so close to Walford, like, so quickly?
That was funny, wasn't it?
Like, he was in the park watching Tiff and Keegan have a normal teenage upbringing, unlike what he's had in prison. I think, was that what they were showing? Like, they were having fun playing football, no care in the world.
Exactly.
Could have been me with Tiff.
If only Ray hadn't come around and spoilt their lives. What life Hunter could have had. They talk about Portugal as well, about going back to Portugal and perhaps restarting again, getting a passport, running a bar together. Just
to fill everyone in, Hunter does find Mel. He gets into the club somehow and into the office. Very sneaky, isn't he?
Well, because considering he had a really bad injury and then had to have help to leave the club.
Used all his energy. Adrenaline.
Well, he's like
raisins.
It was like Metal Gear Solid, wasn't it?
Yeah. But they got out and they went to the abandoned house, which possibly is the same crack den where Cherry was born.
I mean, at least
no confirmation.
They've cleaned it up since Cherry was born there. So...
Cleaned up the placenta.
Yeah, so it's nice of them to do that.
And that's where we had like cinematic shots of windows and all sorts of things. And Mel had bought bandages and raisins.
You're obsessed with these raisins. When she took them out of the bag, the first thing Ben said was, raisins?
Well, I looked up and I thought Hunter had them like on him, like, my raisins. But no, Mel gave them to him.
Prison raisins.
She looked quite worried at his wound on his leg.
Well, it was quite the gash, wasn't it?
And he also had cigarette burns, which wouldn't have happened in a car crash, Hunter.
Oh, no. Well, he openly said that he basically has just been bullied and tormented in prison, and no one's listening to him.
No, he doesn't want to go back, ever.
No.
He'd rather die.
He'd rather slit his own wrists.
Yeah. Is he going to die, like, from his infection on his leg, do you think? I did think that, but then they showed the trailer straight after, and he was, like, fine. I was like, oh.
No,
so it might be, like, some weird delayed... Not what at all?
From that wound. I think he's going to heal. He's got paracetamol and raisins. It's
Mel,
a
that's all you
prescription, NHS prescription. It's like when you go see your GP that you're like, I've got a great big gash on my leg. What can I do? Paracetamol and raisins.
So you need a Nurse Mel.
A Nurse Mel, yeah.
But yeah, nice scene, good acting. Charlie Winters seemed to... His rest did him well, because I thought his acting was up to bit. He had a little bit of stubble, which was interesting.
Well, he had something to do other than his vulnerability is performed better, I guess. It's the same with Mel. They both showed their vulnerability, especially in that final scene. And it was just portrayed so beautifully and so crafted that it was all... I don't know if they filmed it in one go or if they rehearsed it, but it felt... you know what I mean? It felt rehearsed. It felt like that they'd given it a go. It's like Charlie had gone to Tamsin's house the night before and they read through their lines together.
Bottle of wine.
Yeah, bottle of wine.
Green sofa.
Rap album.
Oh, yeah.
His own self-titled album.
What do you think of this new EP?
I'm going to go to the jail and the boo.
She cooked up Letitia Dean's homemade
Courgettes.
veg, which she'd been giving out to the cast.
Yeah, Letitia Dean's got green fingers, apparently.
Yeah, nice scenes. Building up, obviously, to next week with their plan to not go back to prison. Mel didn't take the advice of... Did you notice the policeman? She had like a shaved head.
The female police officer. Yeah.
Very
Things have moved on.
Risque.
I had years ago...
She's from the army. She's on the battlefield.
Yeah, a lot of people from the army do move to the police force.
Yes, yeah, so Mel didn't take the advice of the policewoman to, if you see Hunter, obviously please phone us.
Yes.
But no, they're planning to run away to Portugal, start a new life. I kind of felt like Mel was saying that to Hunter, like thinking, I'm going to say this to calm you down. The trailer afterwards kind of ruined all my like predictions because none of that will happen. But I was kind of thinking like she was saying this knowing that he might die of like his wound or something, and she was like trying to comfort him.
Oh, what?
Like, in his last moment.
A bit like the final scenes of Titanic when the mother is talking to the two children on the bed and trying to get them to fall asleep so they don't realise they're drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not seen the end, but yeah.
Well, you've never seen the end of Titanic?
No, I can't make it through.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but the boat
it's not
sinks.
good.
Yeah, it's not good for anyone.
But that's what I kind of thought. But then the trailer they played afterwards kind of ruined that, and Hunter's like walking around the square doing stuff. So.
Yeah, but he did mention we should point out Jack twice.
Oh,
he
yeah,
blamed
he gets
Jack
his revenge.
twice.
Because he's out to get revenge on someone, and like allegedly someone dies or gets caught in the middle, or something happens between Hunter's gun and Jack, and he like breaks in on the trailer like
to Denise's house.
Yeah, Denise is there.
Well, Patrick's house. We should be correct.
No, it's probably Jack's, but Denise is probably staying over, isn't she?
No, that's
they're
true.
together, remember?
Dirty stop out.
Yeah, someone dies, and it kind of looks like Lisa's like involved as well. So.
Well, because we'll talk about Lisa when we talk about the Mitchells.
But I want to put it out there now. Our prediction from like 3 months ago, where we said Mel's exit will be a Thelma and Louise exit with Lisa, looks likely with Hunter in the boot.
Oh yeah, Hunter was in the boot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I am looking forward to from that trailer. I don't know, everyone in the UK, obviously, at the end of the EastEnders episode on Friday, there was the trailer for basically the next couple of weeks. So Ballum.
September, the wedding,
Ballum,
Bianca.
so on. So America might not have got that trailer. So what I would suggest is if you go to EastEnders...
It'll be on Twitter,
online,
everywhere.
Have a look at it. And yeah, it's a good little trailer.
Right, so shall we move on and have a little chat about the big Mitchells then?
Yeah, we should.
So the Mitchells had more powerhouse acting with Steve McFadden and Max Bowden.
Yeah.
Their big long scene.
And Jessie Wallace. Let's not forget her.
Oh yeah, Jessie and Phil were really good together. Jessie and Phil. Kat and Phil were really good together, weren't they? Really good.
Yeah, really good.
I mean, Steve was actually quite impressive this week as Phil. Like his acting of Phil injured and slightly like dazed and confused, and he like put on a voice and he was waddling, and you know
he got so angry his eyes watered.
Yeah,
like he sniffed a garlic or something.
Really quite impressive. It's like he'd finally been given some real good stuff to get into.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought Steve McFadden was excellent, and it was nice to see that again. It was nice to see him being able to utilise it. Yeah, and enjoying the character of Phil again, because Phil did get a bit stale, didn't he? And he became a little bit granddaddy. Yeah, he sat in his chair and just kind of moped around and moaned about things, and every now and then got like shoved to sit on his lap.
Help him.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I liked that scene
because
that was a fun, the light side of Phil, and then that led to Kim inviting him over for a meal with non-alcoholic gravy.
Oh yeah, gravy.
Oh, it was custard, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't
or
know.
some kind of thing.
It was just orange juice, wasn't it?
No, there was something in the meal, and she said, "Watch out, Phil. There's some alcohol."
Well, Kim's
in
gone
it.
now. She's off.
But she's been replaced by Cherry.
I like her. She's good, Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry.
We had lots of scenes with Phil because he's back from hospital, bit groggy, but trying to sort of piece what everything he heard or didn't hear together. Because he did hear Ben and Jay, but not like everything.
No, he knew that they had an argument, and so he wanted to get to the crux of the matter and find out what the argument was
Very
about.
nosy, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Phil?
Yeah.
I think Phil is entitled to know who hit him around the head.
No, but he was being very nice about Jay and Ben's argument.
Well, because he was
could have been anything.
He was very suspicious of Ben, especially when he got home and Ben was being overly friendly with him. He was like trying to hug him, and Phil like desperately did not want him hugged by Ben. And he was asking his welfare, and Phil kind of didn't feel comfortable that Ben wanted to know how well he was. He didn't like that. This wasn't the Ben that he felt comfortable to be around.
Yeah, very suspicious. But he got basically every single bit of information he needed to from Kat within 2 visits. She really did just
beans, didn't she?
Yeah, she was just waiting to gossip to someone, wasn't she? There's no one in the house anymore. They've all run away.
No, she's only Jean to talk to.
So she's like, all right, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just tell you.
I just want to chat. I just wanted someone to talk to.
But I thought, good for you, Kat. Like, originally, she tried to take the blame onto herself a little bit, saying, oh, yeah, it was me that hit you. She didn't mention Stacey, and she mentioned Martin.
And she made a deal with Phil to say, if I tell you something, we protect the fact, this is protecting my family.
Yeah, but Phil didn't even stick to that. He's such like a... So that was the other way round. He'd be like, deal to deal.
Yeah.
He didn't stick to it
well, only because
he
12
hours.
He wanted to stretch out a bit more and get the full information about exactly what Kat knew about Ben.
That scene with Phil and Ben was very good. It was like the writers said it was one of the longest scenes that they've written, and it was all done in one take.
Yeah, one take.
So really good. There was spit. That's what I took away from it. Max Bowden spat on Steve's face. They kept going.
Yeah, well, this is it. It was one take. But the fact that it was one take made the scene feel really raw as well. It felt like that...
They were really having it out.
They were really having it out, exactly. This was a genuine argument we were seeing, not between 2 actors, but between these 2 characters. And so you were seeing it between them,
It was really nice because Ben thought Phil was going to drink, and Phil was sort of using that to get like the truth out of Ben. And I thought this scene would have been really nice if he didn't then, like, Phil at the end was like, I cheated you, I got you, get out of my house, I hate you. It's like, because they were so close to going to another level, weren't they, of understanding each other. And then right at the end, Phil was, oh no, now I've got the truth out of you. That's it.
Yeah, but he knew he didn't really need to get the truth out of Ben. He knew what the truth was. He just wanted him to say it in front of him.
But it's a shame.
Well, no, not really, because this is Phil, isn't it? Because Phil likes to knock people down to their lowest level and humiliate them and then throw them out. He does it with women. He did it with Lisa.
I was going to say, he did a very similar thing to Lisa after the, like, who shot Phil thing, didn't he? Like, at the same table, very similar between them two.
And he's done it, he's really kind of done it with Sharon to an extent as well. Like, knocked her down to... And then almost rebuilds them to the image that Phil wants them to be. Yeah. So but we should say he fooled Ben by emptying a bottle of vodka, filling it back up with water, and then drinking from it, pretending that he was, going to drink alcohol, which potentially could kill Phil. And that made Ben want to spill the beans.
And Phil's taken up a new catchphrase from his mother. He used it 3 times this week.
Get out of my house!
So yeah, I think he's inherited.
He's
doing it.
He's inherited his mum's, lip.
And everyone, when he says it, people listen. Just like Pegs.
It's a typical Mitchell trait, You shout loud enough and you'll get your own way.
And just to mention Sharon before I go on, just because we have to mention Sharon, this is the only way to mention her. She gets home deliveries.
Yes, with Arnold's.
So that's Sharon out of the way.
Yeah.
It was nice as well that Lola seemed to actually finally have like a point. Like almost for like 30 seconds, where she had like a scene where she was being quite like feisty.
Well, she was standing up to Phil, wasn't she, to defend Jay?
Her and Jay together, because they kept looking at each other from like across the bar, and I didn't really get it.
No, Jay was thanking her. He bought her an orange juice.
No, but they're not together anymore.
They're not together.
I thought they were.
No, I don't believe so.
No.
I think because Jay
broke up with Ruby.
He chose Ruby, and then Ruby basically was like, "No, I don't want you anymore." Threw the drink on him, and I don't think anything's happened since then. But there's always that thing between Jay and Lola.
Yeah, I mean, Lola's return, we are gripping at straws saying this gives her a point, but it was like the most she'd done since she's returned. It
was the most she's done which hasn't involved her manipulating someone or being just generally annoying.
Like, I almost half liked her for like a bit when she was doing it. But because you brought up the fact that Phil tried to take Lexi off her like years ago.
Yes. Well, yeah, she basically said that Phil was to blame for the way Ben is now.
And it made Phil sit back and think.
Mm-hmm.
So he did apologise to Jay, but he's not really made up to Ben. And Ben's not allowed in the house ever again.
Not yet, but Jay did say to Ben, just give it time. And we know time is a great healer on any soap. So just give it time. Ben will do something, and Phil will see the error of his ways, I'm sure.
I mean, it's typical Ben. He's going in, think he's hard man, thinks he knows everything, and he doesn't quite do it right, does he? He's still not.
He never
still
gets
not a
it
Mitchell.
right. Yeah, exactly that.
More
he
of a
never
Bill.
gets it right. He's more his
More of a
mother's
Kathy.
child. He's more his mother's child. He never quite, as you say, gets it right. And we said this before in a previous podcast. Everything he tries to do, he puts his hand to, he seems to muck it up.
Yeah, he tries, but...
So he can't really be this threatening character that you were first introduced to because he just never gets it right.
No, bless him. But he had like a few nice, like he had a little date with Callum when they went a little car trip together.
But they were going to go to Peckham together, but then that's when he found out that Phil had bought 2 bottles of vodka from Whitney. So Whitney had unknowingly interrupted their date. So
And they shared a pint together in the Vic as well.
that was a lovely scene actually, and especially when Ben said to Callum, like, Whitney doesn't know what she's got.
Oh yeah, and he
She's
said,
so lucky with what she's got.
Aw.
And Callum was a bit like,
What, me?
yeah, me? Oh, I better go. Yeah, see ya.
But Ben, he's still planning, still trying to work things out.
Well, yeah.
Because he wants to know where Keanu is and Louise.
And it's really weird because Jay said, and it linked to a Mel scene, so I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was a bit throwaway. But Jay said, if you want to know anything, speak to the mother.
And you thought he like
You
looked
just
at
thought it was a
Karen
clever
and
bit.
thought he was going to get Karen.
Well, no, I just thought it was just a clever line that the writers had written to then segue to Hunter and Mel.
No.
But no, I know. Big fool me. I should have known better. I should have trusted the writers better.
Yes. So yeah, I thought, oh, he's going to try and like get Karen and get information, but no, he went to the other source, which was Lisa Fowler. So he put on like a fake accent and wanted to know where Lisa was. So he obviously thinks Louise and Keanu are with her, or she knows where Louise is. But no, surprise, surprise, Lisa's out.
She's at the hospital. She's out of Sanders Valley.
Why did he put on like a posh accent anyway? Like, who was he trying to be?
He
Louise?
said he was her. Louise ain't posh. She's no posho.
Yeah.
She I don't really know. Maybe just to disguise his voice. I
Just
mean,
in
because
case.
he's got quite a Cockney voice, isn't he? He's like,
These
"Oh,
calls
yeah,
are
Ben."
recorded for training purposes, sort of thing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you're phoning, presumably an asylum, then they probably do monitor the phone calls that are coming in.
Wouldn't know.
Wouldn't
I
you?
can only phone out, not in.
Well, from your asylum.
Yeah, in this hell that I'm in.
Wow. I'm sorry. You're free to leave at any time.
But no, that's a bit of a shock. Lisa's out. Has she admitted herself out, or is she... We don't really know why she's in there. We've just been told for the past 2 years
Well,
she's
we
in there.
do know why she's in there because of that mental scene when she was at the hotel and she was looking after
that's the
Louise.
last time we saw
Or she was
her.
deliberately making Louise sick. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, something, she handcuffed her to a bed or something, didn't she?
Yeah, almost like Hutchinson's disease. She was
wasn't Louise in hospital for something?
And then she took her out of hospital.
Yeah, she discharged her but didn't give her any medication.
It was the burns. It was when she had the burns.
Oh yeah, prom.
Well, who could forget prom? Yeah, so it's when she had the burns, and yeah, Lisa discharged her, but too early, and so then Louise was slowly getting iller and iller and iller, but Lisa was
Also
very ill, but more
Yes.
in the head rather than physically, and then that's when Phil had to not kick the door down and shout at Lisa. What are you
That'll
doing?
help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what Ben's going to do next. We'll mess up his plan. Phil's gone on to her Facebook page.
Yeah, he cracked the code, didn't he? Got into his password. Her
Keanu
password.
01.
I mean, no, not everyone's as basic as Jack.
Yeah, Louise.
Ronnie one. Louise, I don't know. Louise has probably got something very cryptic.
Right, so we're going to go on to our mini news feature next, where we've got some news, basically. some
Say no
news
more.
and some articles to get you all
To delve
your saliva
into,
going.
to delve into and tear apart.
We are here in Walford Gazette because we have some news to bring you all.
Hot off the presses. I think I say that every time. But it's there we go. Hot off the presses.
It's a news thing to say.
It is. What else is there? Extra. Read all about it. You want a paper, Gov? 10 pence. Tuppence to you, sir. I'm sorry, I'll stop. I'm in Mary Poppins mode.
Now we've got a few announcements to talk about. So we've got a new family being introduced, which is exciting.
And then we have 3 characters coming back
Mm.
for a short stint in every case. So anyone who hasn't been following spoilers on Twitter or following on our Facebook group, which you can join, by the way, by looking EastEnders Weekly Podcast and then clicking to join, you wouldn't necessarily know about all these news spoilers, as it were. So if you don't want to know about them, then I suggest you fast forward. But I mean, it's not
They're not
saying
spoilers
too much.
because they're in the press, so it's allowed.
Exactly.
Yeah, the first one is the new family. So we are introduced to 3 new brothers. So 3 male castings on the books.
Yeah. We have Vinny, Karit, and Jags, and they're played by...
Sounds lovely.
I know. They're played by Jazz
I'll
Dole,
take one of each, please.
Amir Aditya, and Shiv Jalotta. So again, if I've destroyed your names, it's a trend now. Just let me know, and I'll apologise for you.
Well, even names like Hayley you destroy. So...
Well, yes, I do.
But yeah, they are the first Sikh family in EastEnders history, which a lot of people are excited about. I've sort of lost some hope for humanity with seeing some of the comments on some social media places on these. I mean, but I've just grown to expect that.
I know. It's
mainly Facebook. I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, people are just going to be vile toward anything, aren't they? Really. I mean, the comments we've seen about the Callum storyline and the typical band line of "there's too many gays in the EastEnders cast now," and it's just ridiculous.
It's an agenda of the BBC, or
it's an agenda, yeah. And I mean, it's a TV soap. It's just get over yourselves. And to be honest with you, I think it's a real interpretation of life in London. It's just a mix of people and races who no one really looks at your skin or your religion. Everyone just gets along.
Exactly. So yeah, we've got 3 brothers. I mean, I am reserving hope for the brothers. I said it's exciting news, but the last time we had brothers on the show, it's never really that good.
It's a tricky one.
The Moon brothers are rubbish.
Yeah.
Like the Branning brothers are meh.
And they did it with the Italian family as well.
Oh yeah, DeMarco's. Yeah. So yeah, I don't hold out a lot of hope. I'm not going to get myself excited over these boys.
Well, I am, because I think that, first of all, Habiba needs a love interest, and it would be interesting.
They might be gay. All of them.
No, I don't think they'll go down that route.
I'm joking.
But I think that Habiba, because of them being Sikh and them being a kind of a different religion, there can be a bit of
it's like a bit
tension,
taboo,
can't there, between a Sikh and a Muslim religion.
Well, we saw that in 1986 with Dr. Singh and Neymar. So we had that way back when. Right in the beginning.
Yes, and Neymar's, it was her cousin didn't approve because he was working in the shop.
Yes.
And he didn't approve, but then they became fast friends and everything was okay. And then Neymar ended up going away with a suitor.
Different story.
Against her wishes.
Different time. So yeah, do you think Habiba with which one though? I mean, if you're listening to this and you want to know who we're talking about, there's a cast photo that's been released of all 3 of them. So there's one on the left, one on the right, one in the middle, 3 brothers. So which one do you think Habiba's getting with?
Habiba, she likes someone with wealth, good dresser, so I believe it will be the eldest, who is
Karit.
Or Karat, sorry.
It's because he's like a businessman, successful.
Yeah, he's wearing a suit,
stylish.
Nice black t-shirt underneath, a bit off trend a little bit, looking a bit different, not wearing a shirt. I mean, he'll also be a good competitor for Adam. There'll be a bit of jealousy if Adam's still in the soap at that point.
Wow.
There'll be a jealousy there, I think. So yeah, definitely the eldest, I think, is Habiba. And also Habiba obviously likes the elder man.
And the middle brother looks a bit like a fat boy character, like the way he's dressed and stuff.
Yeah, Jags, he really does. He looks like someone who possibly DJs or likes to put his finger in lots of different pies, but doesn't really have any kind of direction.
He'd get on with Shaquille if Shaquille was around. Bleepy bloppy music sort of thing.
Yes, he would. I mean, do you reckon he'll make a friendship with... who would he make a friendship on the square with? Because I think the middle one is going to be the kind of one who doesn't
little one.
Get a relationship. No, the middle one, Jags.
The short one is...
Vinny. Yeah,
right.
But I'm talking about Jags.
Okay.
So if you're talking about Jags, I think Jags is the character who is like Fat Boy, a bit unlucky in love, finds it difficult to get a bond with a girl. So he'll be kind of hanging around with maybe another guy, maybe Keegan, or
maybe Cushion Martin. Could be like a friendship group.
I think they'd be a bit too old for him, though. I mean, there's no one really his age range in it. He's the one that I worry. He's the one that I worry is the first. If there was going to be he's the one I worry will be the first to leave, because the youngest one is in that age bracket and also seems the most interesting.
Yes, because they say the description of the youngest one, he's on the left. If you're looking at the photo at home, he's Vinny, so he's like the shorter one.
Yeah, he's wearing
he's the youngest one, isn't he? And he's like got a nice exterior, but don't be fooled by him, is what they say. And it also says that they've arrived to the square to seek like revenge on a current family. So I hate it when they do it. They always do this with brothers as well. Like, they come onto the square to take someone down, and it automatically, like, makes the viewer not like them, like, if it's a family that people like. So that's always a bit difficult. So I don't know what that will be about.
That kind of happened with Ben's reintroduction, because we knew that Ben was being reintroduced with an agenda. And as you say, when you introduce a family with an agenda, then you're kind of thinking they're a one-hit story. So you worry what's to come after that.
You know the little one? The younger brother. He reminds me a bit of Jamie, so maybe Sonia could get with him. Looks a bit like Jamie.
I think Sonia will just be forever the Catwoman. I really do.
What, like Dot?
Yeah, I do. I worry for Sonia because she doesn't seem to get herself in that kind of way anymore. She just doesn't care.
Well, I've read some theories online that they think they may be related to Ash, which is Ikra's girlfriend, in some way. So we don't really know anything about Ash. So that could be a possibility. Maybe something happens to Ash and they've come to seek revenge or something. Maybe it's her sister or... Are you shocked?
I am. Sorry, I'm just having a think. Sorry, I'm having a proper little think there. So, so Ikra's was going to be husband.
No, they're related to Ash. Ikra's girlfriend.
Ikra's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's why my head wasn't quite getting round to it.
So,
because I thought that seemed
a theory
odd.
online.
So they're going to kind of interfere with Ikra's relationship. I hope it's not, because I hope they're not kind of shoehorning a homophobia storyline of some sort, considering that
not because of homophobia, but because they're Sikh and they're Muslim.
Oh, so that would be the basis.
Yeah.
So, but then maybe they find the common ground because Habiba falls for Karat, and so then there's
there might not be time for love.
Story's writing
not always
itself.
Love, is it?
Oh, it's always
always
love.
Partner people up.
Because every good story is about a relationship, a love story. Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, it's all about love stories.
Yeah, but Kate Oates and John Sen like mixing up the groups in like ways you don't expect. So putting them with Habiba is like too obvious for them. They'll put him with something like Shirley or something. Like they'll do something really random, like how they put Big Mo and Kush together and Ruby and Max. Like, do you know what I mean? They're doing weird mixes of people. So I don't think it will be Habiba. I think it'll be someone random, like Sonia, for example. Yeah,
but then I think that's what I say. The story does write itself. If they are coming to discuss, Ash's relationship with Ikra, perhaps they find that they mend their ways by seeing that Habiba falls in love with one of them, and that the story then can continue. Although a bit weird as well that two families kind of like have two siblings that have fallen in love in the same family. Oh, I'd like that though. Yeah.
We'll have to wait, because it's around autumn time, I think they're arriving.
Yes, they are. So. And we've been told by John Sen that they're 3 different brothers, but they're a force to be reckoned with.
We'll see.
Interesting.
We will see.
It's weird that they're introducing 3 new characters. So, Cull on the way. A Cull is on the way. A few people are
off of their heads, so. Because they're not the only ones returning. We've also got Queen of Maternity Leave, Stacey.
Yeah, I know. Lacey Turner. She is just...
Can't get enough.
Pops it out, back on her legs. She's out of the hospital. She's like Kate, like Kate and William.
Kate Middleton.
Yes, she had the baby and stood on the steps outside the hospital 1 hour later holding the baby with the press taking photographs.
Yeah.
Oh, Lacey is royalty. Lacey. She is. Princess Lacey. She's not quite the queen yet.
They've announced that she's already back filming. She's coming back for a short stint to begin with, which is going to air early November. And then she's going to be off, and then she'll be back like 2 months later full time. So that's mad. Like, we all thought she'd be off for a year.
She's filming. Well, she was filming when the article came out, which was a couple of days ago. And what seems to be the case was that the writers said, if you want to come back, that's fine. We can fit you in. Yeah. But if you want to have a long maternity leave or a bit of a short, a bit more time with your child, that's fine. But no, Lacey was like that. Yeah, I'm there. Sign me up.
Committed. It's nice to know that she's so committed to, like, Stacey.
Well, she really is committed to the soap, isn't she? It's really endearing, actually, because after so many years of people kind of hearing a lot of bad information that behind the scenes people weren't really getting along, and like the writers, and there was a bit of tension, that there is Lacey. She's literally keeping the band together.
Exactly. And she's such an important character with all like so many families around her. She is needed in the show, but I was just kind of ready that she wouldn't be back for a year, but yeah, back already.
I mean, I suppose we know that it's going to be attached to the story, because they said it's going to be a big story, but it has to be attached to obviously the Phil, the Mitchells, that story.
She's going to come back, go to prison, and then come out again or something?
Yeah, it must be some kind of attachment that way. And I mean, it does kind of organise the story better by getting her back, because then they can give they can fill in the gaps in between, rather than just everyone just presuming they've run away. And with that kind of story, you kind of it's too easy to just kind of just dismiss it then. And by having Stacey come back, you kind of adds a bit of weight to the whole Mitchell story. So it's great that she's coming back, and as you say, it's advantageous for the programme, and it's advantageous for us viewers because we know that there's going to be a bit more, few of the plot holes will be filled in.
And more location filming, because Martin was seen doing location filming with Ben Mitchell as well. So
Oh, was he?
yeah, in a car.
I'm surprised you
together.
didn't find out where it was and go and visit. I know you like to follow Martin around.
Oh yeah, Martin's better than Ben. So
No, how dare you?
well, I've seen Martin in a vest in the allotment. You know, that's all you need.
Neither here nor there, Ben.
So what was the last bit of news, quickly?
Oh, well, then the last bit of news, which I think a lot of people already know, is obviously Bianca and Lisa is coming back.
Lisa Fowler.
Yeah, but they've given an official date now, and that is Monday the 2nd of September. And as luck should have it, it just so happens to be the Whitney and Callum wedding episode.
Big week.
Yeah, so it was a Monday, so it must be a full week of it. And obviously...
And also, Bianca's still around the week after the wedding.
Right.
So
okay, so
she's there for the aftermath as well.
She's around for a bit longer than people
2
thought,
weeks.
because people thought it would only be an episode. So to keep her for a couple of weeks is pretty decent.
Yeah.
We don't really know how long Lisa's staying for.
No,
but
but she's still filming now.
Yeah, so presumably it's a bit longer.
Yeah.
In that kind of regard. I mean, her story is very much with Mel and Hunter, because there's
And Louise.
Yes, but Mel and Hunter to begin with, and then more Louise as it flows
Depends what
through.
you know.
Oh, what do you know, Ben?
No, I can't say.
Yeah. And Bianca's story is obviously very much the wedding and Whitney and Callum and the fallout of
And
that.
Tiff as well is involved heavily in Bianca as well.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a little spoiler for you all.
Oh, great. So is this
all I can say.
Is this to do with her recent
Don't know.
GCSE?
No.
No. Okay. So obviously the beginning of September is when it's almost the reset button for EastEnders. A lot of people consider it as the new season, the new series.
Yeah.
So
if they ever had a break, this is when they would have like a break.
That's right. So if you consider the end of August as the end of the season 34, and then September is the beginning of season 35.
Mm-hmm. So it's always like big. And like new storylines start around the first week of September as well, normally.
Exactly. And then they're normally stories that then carry on throughout until Christmas. So last year, it was the shooting. Can you remember? A year ago, Stuart got shot
I can't believe that
in
was
the
a
Vic.
year.
Yeah. And Ray returned, and when Mel got proposed by Jack.
Oh yeah, and she dumped him on the same night and he slept with Ray.
Jack's moved on, though. He's with Denise now.
Oh yeah.
I think he's had like another one between as well, hasn't he?
Probably.
Yeah.
Rainie slept with her, didn't
Oh yeah, he slept with Rainie as well. Good on you, Jack. Pull up your sleeves and get in there. So yeah, so I mean, it's not huge news, but it's good that we know a date. It's almost an obvious date as well that we kind of knew it was going to be when, as I said, the reset button begins for EastEnders for another year. But all this information kind of got leaked during that big press event that they had on Wednesday.
Yes, people got to see the Callum and Whitney wedding.
Yes, so certain members of press, sadly not ourselves.
No, not this year.
Not yet. If anyone's listening from EastEnders, send us a press pass. We'd accept it
Yeah, why not?
gracefully. We'd be more than pleased. And so bits and pieces are trickling out. So there may be a few more big stories coming out in the future. But for now, that's what we've been allowed to know.
Yes, but yeah, I'm sure in a few weeks they'll be releasing like the autumn
Trailer.
general storylines for Halloween. Sharon's 50th. It's all going off.
Oh wow! I hope Billy does apple bobbing again this Halloween and loses another tooth.
Oh, Adam's still around to help.
Yeah,
Thank God.
With painkillers and whiskey.
Well, there you go. That was your news report from Walford Gazette. So we've got the short but sweet storyline of Callum and Whitney. A bit like the wine they're choosing for their wedding.
But short but sweet.
Oh yeah.
How is this true? It's not a whiskey drink.
Callum
Whitney
might loosen up then.
got wrecked.
I know.
I mean, how much did she drink? Because she's not shy of drinking, so it's not like she's not got like a protective layer of alcohol if she does drink a lot of alcohol.
She must have just tried loads of wines for her wedding.
Do you think she's not been eating just so she can fit into her beautiful dress?
Probably. No peanut butter this month.
Yeah, no peanut
No argument.
Yeah. That's why she's probably so grouchy as well, because she's hungry all the time. That's why she's always snapping at Callum and jumping to conclusions.
But she still hasn't found the letters from Chris.
Yet.
Because he was looking at them or had them in his pocket or something, didn't he, at the beginning of the week, I think.
He just hides them in the most silly places. It's
Yeah,
like Sharon and the...
In her jewellery box.
Yeah, or under the bed. I mean, I'm presuming they don't use that bed very often for
No.
nookie. So, I mean, it's a sad state of affairs.
No, they must do, because Whitney always pressures men into doing it, doesn't she?
She pressures men to do a lot of things, doesn't she? But they had that story, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago? When a few months ago, when Callum was playing Xbox and he was paying her no attention.
That was ages ago, yeah.
Yeah, but then more recently, he said, "I prefer just cuddles on the sofa."
Oh yeah, she went, "Oh,
yeah,
he's sweet, he's sweet, isn't he?" I mean, even to lose his virginity, it took Whitney like ages, and he looked shocked afterwards.
He was
last year.
Well, he was surprised because he didn't realise that's what you can do with a woman, because he's not done it with a woman up until that point.
No.
Well, which we now know.
So yeah, they're just planning their wedding. Stuart, bless him, thinks he's best man and in charge of his little brother's stag do.
Yeah, he even got a costume for it.
And a folder.
Yeah, considering Stuart doesn't do any work.
I know, what does he do? But he has like money. It's really weird.
Yeah, nothing. He does nothing.
Because he doesn't do his paedophile hunting anymore, I'm assuming.
But he didn't get paid for doing that, did he?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He must just still be on the gyros.
But he used to have a car. What happened to his flat as well? That weird flat.
Yeah, his state house.
Yeah.
That's odd, isn't it? Yeah, they just kind of...
He trashed it and then just left it.
But he lives with Dot now, doesn't he? But yeah, he's the only one on the square. Well, not the only one on the square, because Rainie doesn't work either. But she's living off the bills. But then they both seem to have... They were the cafe, the other cafe this week.
That's why they got so much money, see? They got no outgoings, no rent.
Baby Abby.
No
Baby
bills.
Abby's quite an outgoing.
Oh, yeah,
and
true.
also Stuart bought that gladiatorial costume. He got that ring binder.
He might have stole it. Like, he stole Whitney's wedding dress, didn't he? Well, we don't know what he did, but he appeared with her wedding dress somehow.
Well, yeah, because he saw the photo. And
yeah, so maybe he stole everything. Because he's not 100% good.
Also, if we're working on the theory of Dylan is alive somewhere, is he in a lock store somewhere? Is he in one of those big orange buildings with, like, you know, when you hire a room?
Because it's been 1 year since Stuart's shooting with Dylan Box. So it's the anniversary, so we might as well talk about Dylan.
Happy anniversary, Dylan.
Because, he's still on the dam, I guess, because he's got no passport, no money. So I don't know where Dylan is.
I know. That's yet another mystery that just seems to be unanswered. Is he going to turn up at the wedding? If they say, has anyone got any reason these two can't wed? Dylan's going to come running down, soaking wet. It's like, I've been in the dam for a year. I've made friends with the mermaid people.
People have disappeared. What happened to that guy that Lola was meant to be marrying? He appeared twice and then just never bothered coming back, did he?
Well, he just went away, didn't he? He was threatened by Ben, but then he told Lola that he'd been threatened by Ben. But then Lola didn't believe him. Remember, she punched him in the face.
Kind of forgotten.
And then went to Ben. Well, he had his role and left.
Maybe he's in Stuart's flat with Dylan Box having a little party.
Maybe that's where Stuart still has the flat then, and Dylan's living in the flat with Stuart.
Well, that'd be good.
But he keeps him locked up in that flat. I mean, oh my God, that would be a heck of a revelation. Can you imagine if you just see Stuart kind of open the door into his flat?
One
and you just
Friday
see Dylan
episode,
there.
the last 5 minutes, you see it.
Not even the last 5 minutes, just like to completely unexpected. It's like, I just need to go somewhere, Rainie. Off Stuart goes, and you open the door and you just go, and then you just see Dylan in the corner. Oh, Stuart, yeah, got me some beans, yeah. I've been playing World of Warcraft, yeah, on your PC, yeah, having loads of fun. Do you want to join it? Yeah.
Possibly, but we've gone way off tangent here.
I know.
We were talking about how Stuart isn't the best man, so maybe after that conversation he shouldn't be. But no, he's chosen Mick as his best man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, although Mick did say to him that clout is thicker than water, so he
only because he was too stressed, he just didn't want it.
I mean, yeah, but then the only people who knows that he's stressed is Stuart, and Stuart was the one who saved him this week.
He was, because Mick, talking about the Carters, he's having built up stress. His heart's... Well, it's not his heart, is it? He's just having, like, panic attacks.
He's having panic attacks.
But
He's been diagnosed as panic attacks.
But people think it's, like, his heart when he, like, collapsed.
Well, because he always clutches his chest. He's always like... and he's clutching his chest every time.
He's turning the lights on and off. What's happening?
I don't think he's turning the lights on and off, unless he's having a hell of a hallucination.
Yeah. Alexa, he's asking his Amazon.
Yeah. Alexa, why's my lights flickering? You're having a panic attack, Mick.
Shouldn't laugh. It's a very serious subject.
It is very serious.
I mean, it's Danny Dyer, so again, I'm just like... Eh.
I mean, a couple of people did get in touch with us to say that they did enjoy Mick's heavy breathing.
Lots of people on Twitter, basically Danny Dyer fans, are like saying, these are the best acted scenes I've ever seen in the history of EastEnders.
I genuinely believe that if you put if they had an episode of EastEnders, a whole half an hour, and they just put Danny Dyer sat in front of a blank screen,
looking in different directions.
I'm sure if Mick did like a Shia LaBeouf like meme where he's just acting out all those different like emotions and doing all those different scenes, and people can put whatever background they want in front of a green screen, and they then open it up to the public to say, you know, best scene of the year for any soap, Mick would win it. or Danny Dyer, I should say, would win it.
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, I like Mick. I like the character of Mick.
Yeah.
And I love Danny Dyer. You know, I mean, he's found his home in EastEnders. He's been in it near on 6 years. So I don't think there's any danger of him leaving anytime soon. But, I mean, let's be honest. There has been, especially this week with some of the actors, there's been performances which has outshone Danny Dyer.
Lady Di, the new Lady Di was in it in the past.
Yes, the new dog, because the original one died a year ago. Yeah. I don't. That's cruel to Danny Dyer. I mean, we're going to get hate, I have to say, because whenever we say anything on Twitter about Danny Dyer, we instantly get
I don't mind. He's just...
I don't mind Danny Dyer.
And I like to me, but he's not, like, his scenes of him and like the weird special effects going around him, they weren't like...
Yeah, but you didn't like those scenes, as you said at the top of the show.
That's true. But even with the music added, didn't hit an emotional note with me. So what are they going to do next?
Yeah, but it wasn't really music, was it? It was just if you let a child into a kitchen with pots and pans and a wooden spoon, it's just like gong, gong, gong. Just like noise, wasn't it? Just an echo of noise around everything.
But you know, the Carters, no more secrets, Mick. No more secrets, Elle.
Well, every week we say no more secrets.
Yeah, but the secret's out again. So at the moment, there's no secrets. Because Linda's told him she's got the all clear. Shirley's told him she punched someone. Shirley and Linda know that. Tina knows it.
Linda didn't mind. In fact, Linda said to Shirley, I would have done the same thing if someone had insulted...
A bit of bonding there.
Yeah. Shirley gave a little smile, didn't she, when Linda wasn't looking? And then she quickly frowned again when Linda turned around and looked at her again.
Like a knowing nod, like, you're right, Elle.
Yeah. Mick
has told her that he's already booked an appointment, but we don't know if that's 100% true. So,
I mean,
there's no more secrets could be happening again.
There's no reason for him to lie about that, surely.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to, like, not tell her in the first... Like, this whole thing. Like, he should have just said, I need to go to the hospital.
Well, he was covering it up from Linda because Linda was waiting for her results for her smear test because she obviously had her second smear test because the last one was inconclusive. She got the results and she found out that she was fine. She was all clear, so nothing to worry about. So there's no real reason now for Mick to kind of take on the burden of responsibility of everyone else's problems.
He's not told his best mate Mitch, though, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Well, I bet Mitch will make fun of him. I bet he will. Because Mitch is so...
Oh, he's just awful. It's like tonight on Friday's episode when he started making jokes and...
Oh, yeah, that stag dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's going to bang her. And it's like,
Oh, he's so rubbish.
He's just so annoying. Even when it was... And we'll talk about the Taylor stories later on the show, but like even when he was doing the stories with Bailey, like he was so inadequate with the care of Bailey. And the only way he could like get the only redeeming feature he had was by basically buying his love to her again.
Not even using his
own money. Yeah,
that's
basically
thing.
Well, yes, we'll talk about that later.
Because Mick said like to Linda, oh, actually, I'm kind of embarrassed about what it is because it's panic attacks. It's nothing serious, is what he thinks, even though it is. But I bet that's like a thing, like him and Mitch's like manly friendship. I think he'll like make a joke to Mick and it'll put Mick off like having treatment or something.
Like he'll say something and he'll be like, oh, don't panic, Mick.
Yeah.
And Mick will be like, oh yeah, no, I've lost my masculinity a little bit. We're still hoping on the hit list for Stuart, aren't we, that Mitch is going to be there because Stuart's going to feel a bit inadequate by the Mitch and Mick's friendship.
Hopefully. Or Gray can hit him or something.
Stuart and Mick's friendship grew though, didn't it? When Stuart kind of calmly and gave Mick some composure, and that was nice as well.
But Mick doesn't like really want to admit it.
Well, he's still saying that the only reason he's kind of talking to him and he's allowing him in the pub now is because of Callum's wedding, and once the wedding's over, the same rules will apply, and you can't keep coming in, and Linda agrees with me. But then I think Linda's starting to soften a little bit towards Stuart as well when she saw that Stuart knew about his panic attacks, but instead
because he helped him through and helped him breathe.
Yeah, that's it. He helped him with the kind of like meditation and the breathing techniques.
Although Rainie wasn't much help, was she?
Well, Rainie wasn't there.
She was. She went into the kitchen and watched. Watched over and like made a judgy comment. You know,
you could tell Linda was a bit like, oh, okay, well, I suppose he's helped my husband out with this. But she wasn't very impressed that Stuart knew before her. So, but she kind of let it lie on this occasion. So she kind of let it lie on this occasion, though.
Right, so let's move on and have a little chat about Baby Abby, continuing drama of...
I know, is anyone going to think about Abby? Is anyone thinking of the children?
Bobby,
yeah, the only one who's sane. It's remarkably the only one who's sane in the Bill household right at this moment.
Makes sense.
It does it.
Yeah.
Does it? The kid who's basically just spent, 3 years in prison for the murder of his sister, and he's the only one who sees common sense.
I still find it so weird when they had that scene in the lounge and Max was waiting for baby Abby and Ian was on the sofa, Bobby was on the sofa, and Max was just stood in between them. I thought, God, this is weird. Like these three characters just harmoniously standing next to each other.
I do think that they're deliberately trying to mingle Max with the Bills, Ian and Bobby, just to make us feel like, oh, they've forgiven Max, so we should too.
No.
And it's like, no, I'm never forgiving Max for what he did. A year or so ago, when he just decided to completely try to destroy Albert Square.
And delete Simon Wicks's history.
And exactly
And
that.
DNA.
And Jane. And push Jane away from the square.
Yeah.
Another loved character. So don't know. No, we do not forgive Max for what he's done. If Ian might forgive him, but then Ian's
It's
a
very
shady
odd.
fool.
It's not like Ian to like forgive him, either like be so okay with Max like in the house. It's just weird.
I think I think that having Max there kind of softens like this tension between Ian and Bobby.
Yeah,
Because they've still not really found their path together either. And Kathy's just kind of like the lemon, isn't she? She's kind of like the odd one out. She kind of just stands in the background and every now and then throws a few comments in.
I mean, the one good thing I can see of Jane not being there is that like Jane's role is sort of moved to Kathy, so Kathy gets more screen time, which
but
we're always here for.
We were so excited because Kathy, we thought, oh, hang on. We kind of got sat on the edge of our seats. Something's happening here. Kathy's got her own venture, her own gay bar, and she's got a few stories coming her way. She's looking after Abby. She's got Rainie's story where she's pushing drugs on a druggie. You know, what's going to happen with Kathy? And they seem to kind of throw a few crumbs Kathy's way and then don't really give her...
We're getting more than we have got, so...
I know, but not enough. We need more Kathy. Pour the Kathy on me.
Kathy and Sharon should have a storyline together.
Kathy and Sharon.
Yeah.
But they should really... They've got a heck of a history, especially
Exactly.
considering with Phil.
Yeah.
Sharon should admit the baby's father to Kathy.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I'd like that.
She'll phone her up saying, Kath, you used to work for Samaritans. Can I have some
yeah. You'll knit my son and daughter a jumper, won't you?
We have Rainie who's still taking her pills, even though she's probably not hurt anymore. Like, Phil's out of hospital and he's alright.
She's faking it now.
For attention.
For attention and also just not to work. She just doesn't want to do any work.
No, just watch TV. Have a breakfast made for her. She's quite happy.
Yeah, she always gets something made by Bobby, doesn't she? Like, Bobby, make me a bowl of cornflakes. Make your own.
Yeah, and her like timekeeping with baby Abby's not being very good, and Max is getting all upset, pacing up and down, and there was like a big, huge argument in the Bill house, which we haven't had for a while in the Bill house, so it was nice.
But
all those characters.
It was a good argument because it wasn't just a chaotic, over the top, crazy, kind of everyone yelling over each other, Max Branning standard argument. It started that way, but then the conversation stick came out.
Now, whose idea do you think that was?
Not
Kathy?
No, not Kathy. Well, it broke because Bobby stood up and said, "Why is no one thinking of baby Abby? Why is everyone
holding
just
an
thinking about
iPad?"
themselves?"
And he like, oh, I thought he was going to hit.
I thought he was
someone.
about to throw it on the floor. I
Yeah.
thought, oh no,
Like
he stopped
what he did
himself
with Lucy's head.
with an iPad.
Yeah, but no, he got upset and like, won't anyone think of baby Abby? And he stormed off. So,
but which then made everyone in that room kind of see a bit of sense. Like, yeah, we are acting like children, and we're meant to be responsible for a child.
yes,
let's do something about it.
but yeah, the talking stick came out.
It was
That
quite
good.
nice, actually.
Quite worked.
It worked. It was a good scene. It showed that there is a bit of civilness between Max and Rainie.
I am kind of over like baby Abby though. Like it has been going a long time. This baby Abby storyline.
Yeah, but there's nowhere really if they can take it because now Rainie and Max both want the care
we had
of
this
her.
last year where they both wanted care.
Yeah, but they were doing it together at that time.
Yeah,
Apart from Max's
together kind of
jaunt off to France and started seeing some French girl, some cheap
Both
French tart.
I'm starting to hate baby Abby. This is where it's going to.
Wow. That's a legacy character. That's Stephen and Abby
I know.
in one child.
It's like just make a decision or just get rid of her and give her to Cora and just move on.
No, I think it's fine
annoying.
as long as they don't make the story all about who gets to look after what time Rainie needs to be back with baby Abby, but Max constantly making a dig at the fact that Rainie went out and left Abby to be looked after by Kathy. As long as that doesn't make their centre storyline, and I don't think that is what's happening now. I think it's very much splitting in two directions, isn't it? It's Max and Ruby, and what seems to be Max's inability to keep Ruby's interests unless he kind of keeps up to date with her, and also that she doesn't really have any kind of interest in looking after a child.
He made a big mistake with Ruby, really, didn't he?
I mean, Ruby very much thinks about Ruby.
Yeah. And like the thought of a baby, although Max, again, being trashy, Max Browning is trash, he like got baby Abby for the day with him and Ruby without even telling Ruby. And then he was like, "Oh, her nappy needs doing. Here you go, Ruby. Yeah. I'll go off and sit in the lounge." It's like, this is the first time she's met baby Abby, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Stop calling her baby Abby.
And also, Ruby was naked underneath a trench coat.
Oh, yeah.
Which is no state to be in when you're looking after a child.
No.
But she wasn't told by Max that she was looking after the child. But yeah, no, Max... So basically they're two quite selfish characters.
But she's like more selfish than him.
Yeah,
so
and she
doesn't
doesn't
want a shock for him.
Yeah, she doesn't want the baggage of a child. And Jack has warned her, and Tiff has warned him as well, that really Ruby doesn't seem to be the kind of girl who...
And Rainie warned him too.
Who doesn't really want the responsibility of having a ready-made family presented in front of her. She's an independent woman. She does Pilates. She turns up at someone's door with a big bowl of pasta and expects them to let her in, and then
even
just eat them with her. Yeah, even if you want an evening to yourself listening to Sailor V by Bewitched. No. Ruby's got a bowl of pasta, which she's made in 10 minutes with a stirring sauce, and she expects to have some attention. Thank you very much.
And she's got the energy. She can be up all day making pasta, Pilates, exercising, changing nappies, having sex with a coat on, and also go clubbing all night as well.
Clubbing all night. Well, old Max can't. He's broken his back. He was walking around the square going, "Oh."
No, why did his back hurt? Because he was tired.
He was like an advert for Voltarol, wasn't it? It's like you just imagine these red streaks coming out of the back of his, and he's going, "Oh." Yeah. So that's where Max and Ruby's heading, and then there's Stuart and Rainie, which is heading down the Stuart's kind of mothering Rainie a bit too much.
Yeah, because she said she's not going to take the pills anymore, but then he looked in her handbag and saw there was pills. So... Yeah,
but she'd only just said it, so to not trust her to kind of just get rid of those pills himself.
He's taken them now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's pocketed them for himself. But then has he pocketed them for himself to take?
No, it's going to be a test, because if she's missing them, that means she was going to have one.
So... But Stuart reminds me now, after watching a lot of classic EastEnders these past couple of weeks, of Nasty Nick and his return to Dot and his new Christian way. And I'm wondering if Stuart, this whole thing is just one ruse, one big act, yeah. And so these pills might be something that he might pop him himself. Maybe he's still got...
Bex's pills as well.
Yeah, maybe he's still got those, and he's going to make a concoction. He's going to get a pestle and mortar and crush them all up and sniff them off Dot's table. That's table's got a lot to answer for.
Oh, yeah. Dot's kitchen table.
So, yeah, I think Baby Abby...
For everyone who doesn't get that reference, Stacey and Martin made love on the table.
Okay, well, anyone who's... If you don't get that reference, you need to listen back to our old podcast and find out about it.
Episode 2, when we used to do like those soundbite things for a minute.
Oh, yeah, at the beginning of the show. We used to do a sum up of the week. That took a long time. That's the reason we don't do them anymore.
Mm-hmm. But things that we still do is a little game. So we're going to go off and play a little game right now.
So famously, the very first line ever muttered in EastEnders was, stinks in here, don't it?
Yeah, Den.
By Den, yeah. So, and we created a game around this, which we've played a couple of times, called it stinks in here, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Creatively. It does. Sorry, that's me. And basically, it's a very simple game. So for anyone joining us for the first time, I'm going to read out 7 quotes, and I'm going to give Ben 7 different characters, and Ben has to match the quote with the character. Simple as that. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I did really good last time as well.
You did. And then Ben grades himself dependent on what kind of character he is.
With intelligence.
On the level of intelligence, which we always end it on for some bizarre reason. Anyway, this week's edition of Stinks in Here, Don't It? Gosh, it's really mouthy. I know, it's so difficult to say that. Is a Female Icons Week.
Oh, good. My favourite.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
So get ready to play at home. The quotes are either from Shirley Carter, Carol Jackson, which is a bone of contention because I famously said that she wasn't as much of an icon on Twitter. Oh, the hate I had. Sharon Mitchell, née Watts. Peggy Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Chrissy Watts. Pat Butcher and Angie Watts. A lot of Watts.
That's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I said there's 7 icons. Some female. That's just a handful of icons from the soap.
Where's Pauline?
She's for another time. So you need to tell me what their very first line was from the soap. When they were introduced, their very first line, okay?
Right.
So here's the first one. Excuse me, I'm looking for a village called Kingston. Whose line was that? The very first
A
line.
village called
Kingston.
Carol. Or Shirley.
You're saying Shirley. You're starting strong with Shirley. Okay. Second line.
Mm-hmm.
Mum will like it. What do you think, Shell?
Shell? Mum will like it. Sharon?
You're saying Sharon for that
Yes.
one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's easy, I think.
Next one. You still owe me last week's money. What you looking at? I'll give you a clue on this one. The person was finishing a conversation with another character and then moved on to someone who was staring at them. So that's why the end of it is what you're looking at. So you still owe me last week's money. What you looking at?
Pat? Maybe she looks at Pete.
You can swap them a bit later.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of them.
Well, it's always 7. Nothing's changed.
Oh, is there?
The number's always been 7. How are you getting along at home, listeners? Are you enjoying the game? Is there a lot of them? Let us know. Next quote. Oh, nice of you to drop in, Ethel.
Angie.
You're saying that's Angie.
Yep.
Good. Let's carry on. Quote number 5. A glass of white wine would be nice.
Chrissy.
Okay. Here's the penultimate one. What do you think I'm doing? Waiting for the number 13 bus? You've got left Peggy.
Yeah. Is this Barbara Windsor Peggy or...
Oh, I should say it is Barbara Windsor Peggy.
Oh, God's sake.
So...
Well, that's not fair.
So you've still got Peggy left, so you can add...
Yeah, I know, but...
So it's either Peggy or...
She's in the hospital talking to Phil, I think. Oh, no. She talks to Sharon on the phone.
You got Peggy or Carol. They're the last 2 you've got left.
I'm going to say Carol for bus 1 and just see what the last line is.
And the last one is... Guess who? I'll do it a bit more enthusiastically. Guess who?
So that could be Pat.
Oh.
No, that is Pat. No.
If you're saying that's Pat, then what do you think line number 2 is? Which
Something
is
about money.
number 3. Sorry, you still owe me last week's money. What you're looking at? You've
I've only got
Peggy
3
left.
right. Oh.
So if you don't think that's Peggy, you need to give Peggy to someone else.
Guess who? Maybe that is Peggy because she's like recast.
I'll go through them once more, and you can change them if you want to. So here are the answers you've given.
It's very traumatic.
So the first one was, excuse me, I'm looking for a village called Kingston, and you've matched that up with Shirley.
I forgot about Shirley.
The next one, Mum will like it. What do you think, Shell?
That's Sharon.
You've matched that up with Sharon.
That is Sharon, so that's fine.
Okay, good. The next, you still owe me last week's money. What you looking at? You said that's Pat.
That can't be Pat.
Next one, oh, nice of you to drop in, Ethel. You said that's Angie.
Yeah, that is Angie. So that's right. And the Chrissy one must be right for wine.
A glass of white wine would be nice. Yep, that's Chrissy.
So I'm going to swap Shirley with the Pat one. So Shirley says, what are you looking at? One, something about money.
Oh, so you're changing the first one?
I think so.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a village called Kingston.
Hey, that's not Pat's first line, is it? Oh, I don't know. I was going to stick with what I'm all confused now. There's too many and it's going on too long.
Well, let me tell you, you got
3 right.
4.
Oh,
you
good.
got 4 right, and you were almost there. So, excuse me, I'm looking for a village called Kingston was indeed Shirley.
Oh, that is right.
And she was asking for directions from Dino and Carly. But she was pretending that she didn't know them, but she was watching them from afar.
Okay, so guess who must be Pat then?
Guess who is Pat? Yeah, guess who is Pat? You said it was Peggy. Mum will like it. What do you think, Shell? Was indeed Sharon. Nice of you to drop in, Ethel. Was indeed Angie.
Mm-hmm.
A glass of white wine would be nice. Was indeed Chrissy Watts.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the 2 you got mixed up and wrong was you still owe me last week's money. What you're looking at? That was Carol. She was finishing a conversation with Bianca, and Pat was looking over, and then that's when she went, "What you looking at?" And what do you think I'm doing? Waiting for the number 13 bus was when Peggy, the Barbara Windsor Peggy, was visiting Phil in hospital after Sharon Gate.
I've watched that recently, see.
Yeah.
It's because I was thinking of the first Peggy.
Hmm?
So that's your fault, that point. So, there. The whole game's ruined because of you.
Well, you did well. 4 out of 7.
Plus not all the information, so...
You had all the information.
You're
all
not
the
about
information
Peggy, and that Peggy one was important.
Well, no, because you asked me about Peggy the moment I gave you her quote. So you should have worked it out straight away from that.
It's too late by then. The damage had been done.
How did you guys get along? Hope you got 7 out of 7. Marked more impressed than Ben. Ben, your intelligence level compared to a character from EastEnders this week?
Bianca.
That's kind of downgrading Bianca, I think. Yeah. She's more than average.
Fashion.
Ricky. I'd say you're a Ricky. Did a Ricky this week. So there you go. Let us know how you got along. And that was another edition of Stinks Here, Don't It? So we're looking up to the stars through my telescope. Reach for the moon, then. I am.
There's a big bright one up there.
Is there?
And it looks like Angie Watts to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the one just next to it, twinkling.
The big red one.
Is Den.
No, not Pat.
Oh, no, Pat. No, Pat would be a cluster, like her earrings. It'd be like a dangling earring off the side of the moon.
Put them all together. It's one of her favourite earrings.
Can you imagine if you put the stars together? You must be able to like crudely put stars together and make like someone's face. If someone wants to do that, please do send it to us on our Twitter, and we'll be more than pleased to retweet
Pat
it.
in the stars.
Pat in the stars.
So yes, we're talking about the Taylors and the Atkins, where Bailey's feeling upset, learning a bit more about her mum's. Like her inquest was this week, and it was all okay, but Mitch, not being the great character or person that he is, he wasn't really explaining it very well to Bailey. He sort of said, Karen, you explain it.
Well, yeah, he just kind of said, she's committed suicide, Bailey, so deal with it.
Yeah.
Here's
a book.
yeah, have this book on the stars. Enjoy it. I'm off to see your sister, whose husband smacked me.
Because he's off on the scrounge for some money, as usual. And before this, we had like the Gray and Chantelle side, where he's got like a promotion or a possibility of a promotion or a work to do that he's going to.
Yeah, I think it's like a meeting of solicitors' minds, and
there's opportunity for him to
to promote himself and get higher up, because he wants to also have another baby. Because he makes beautiful children with Chantelle.
Makes sense.
Well, if you make beautiful children, put them as models. More money for Chantelle and Gray. But they're on a tight budget, Chantelle and Gray.
He did just buy her a house.
That's true. That is true. Which was then fitted up differently to what the original, already quite nice cosmetic house was. He had it done to his own specifics. So yeah, he has spent a lot of money. So now they're on a bit of a tighter budget, and he
warned her, didn't he? Like not to go over.
He's put everything in exact envelopes as well. So one for money, for shopping, and one for knickknacks, a few treats, maybe a pizza, maybe a Domino's, maybe a Taco Bell, a KFC, all fast food restaurants I can think of, just so I don't miss one out.
Yeah, not allowed to have too much fun when he's not there though, because he gets upset. So she's on a strict budget, and obviously because she's on a budget this week, Mitch pops over and wants some money.
Yeah, exactly. So now Mitch knows that Gray is not in the house. He's now,
and he didn't even say sorry about what he did to Gray. Like
he didn't apologise at all. Even when Chantelle said, "You need to apologise to Gray, and then I'll maybe consider forgiving you." He's just outright said no, because I feel like I've done the right thing. And if I feel like I've done that, then no one else needs to basically get any apologies from me.
I'm still mad that he was right about Gray, because
I know.
It's like, oh, for God's sake.
It's a bad taste in your mouth, isn't it?
I know. It's like, I hate you, Mitch.
Yeah. But anyway, he did get that loan, didn't he, from Chantelle?
Oh, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, £80. And he bought a telescope. So they can look at the stars, and Bailey was able to see her mum in the stars.
Very dangerous of them to go onto that big roof. I wouldn't go up there.
I know, the amount of stuff that's happened on that roof.
They're not Branning, so there's like a Branning curse up there, I think.
I think so. Well, Branning / Stacey.
Yeah, she never fell.
She never fell, but she came close, didn't she?
And she's always involved in some way with
the
someone
Brannings.
falling off.
Yeah, she's always got a whiff of Brannings to her, hasn't she? She's always smells a bit Branning.
Yeah, so very brave of them to go up there, but very clear night in the middle of London there.
It was.
It's amazing how many stars you can see.
Considering all the light pollution that happens around London in the city, like central East London, then you've quite a clear sky, so that was lucky. And it's nice that the Carters seemed to give them permission without them even really asking. They just kind of went up on the roof.
That will put the insurance up.
Well, I don't think
everything that's happened up there.
Not anyone could just go to the back of a bar. I mean, I've worked in a pub.
He probably asked his mate Mick, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that's it. They're chummy, aren't they?
That's probably the only reason he's friends with him, so he can go up on that roof just for this one thing.
So do you reckon that telescope's going to permanently stay there now? And so if Bailey ever wants to kind of just look
she
for
could
her
use
mum,
it out of the Taylor's flags. That's like a second story.
I'd imagine it would be the same kind of light pollution situation there as well.
Yeah.
So, Keanu's got not Keanu, sorry, is it? It's is it Karen who lives on the very top, because it's a 3-story building, isn't it?
Oh yeah, or is it Chatton and Riley?
I think it's Chatton and Riley,
because they're always up there.
Yeah, they're always hiding up in the attic.
I guess it will just stay on the Vic roof.
I mean, Bailey did something really kind this week as well, because she decided to dress up as a man to help Keegan kind of get out of his rut of not having any kind of male attention. She got a couple of orange juices and went, "All right, bruv. Should we get ourselves a Chinese later? Watch the footy."
Oh yeah, she tried to talk like sports and stuff, didn't she?
Yeah, because that's what men do. Talk about sports and eat food.
And then they played football together where Hunter was watching them. And
yeah, but I don't think that was part of that. I think they played FIFA on Monday instead. They got out a copy of FIFA 19 and just kind of...
Awful. And also Cherie was like manipulating her mind into like believing in spiritual things, like talking about her mum and how you can talk to her and...
Yeah, using mediums. Yeah. I mean, I was really quite disappointed with Bailey's at this point because Bailey's...
I was disappointed with the storyline at this point.
Yeah, well, same. I mean, Bailey has always been quite straight thinking, and even she said like it's just power of manipulation. Basically, they say what you want you to hear.
It was really cruel because Bailey was saying all that, but then like they showed Bailey sitting on the floor looking really like happy, like, oh, I'm gonna fight. She like searched for a medium on her phone.
Well, this is where the music from the Mel and Hunter story leaked into, and again it kind of showed the emotion a little bit.
Yeah, but it's so horrible because what Cherie has said, or what all of them were saying about talking to spirits and talking to medium, it's given like Bailey a bit of hope, thinking I can talk to my mum, and it's a load of rubbish.
Oh, of course it's a load of rubbish.
And that's it's really like quite sad, like thinking like this like 9-year-old girl is thinking, oh, I'm going to get to speak to my mum again.
But she's grasping at straws, isn't she? She's desperate. She wants an explanation. She still can't understand to Bailey's very young mind why her mum did it. And so in a way you can understand why she would do that.
I know. I'm not having a go at her. I'm just saying like how irresponsible it was, like the way Cherie was saying.
It was very irresponsible that she did that, yeah. And it was irresponsible that the rest of the family kind of joined in as well, like Karen and Lola. Although Lola did make fun of it too, to be fair. I mean, my biggest question is, and I may have said this before, but obviously if you... The verb for searching for something on the internet seems to be quite universally that you've Googled something. I've just Googled something. In the world of EastEnders, obviously, it's Searchwise, their big search engine. Yes. So what's the verb for Searchwise? I wised it?
I searchwised it.
Yeah, but Searchwise is a bit mouthy, isn't it?
Searched it.
Yeah, but searched it's really generic.
Looked it up.
No, it's like I wised it, or
I'm getting wise.
Oh, yes! I'm clicking into and getting wised.
But not very wise. I mean, I was quite amazed how many mediums are in Walford. Big Mo wasn't on there.
No, well, she's been seen as a bit of a hack, hasn't she?
I'm dreading this storyline next week. She's only in one episode of The Medium, thank God. But I already don't like it.
Well, there's a kind of link with Coronation Street as well, because they did a medium storyline. And do you know who played the medium?
Yeah, Joyce. Not Joyce. It was like Joyce's sister.
No.
Who was it? It was someone.
It was the wife who jumped... The woman who married, or almost married, Phil Mitchell and Ben Mitchell with the teaspoon.
Oh, yes.
Stella.
Yeah, Stella.
Yeah, she played the medium, you see. Oh. So I kind of... A little part of me wished that there was a character from Coronation Street that was going to play the medium in EastEnders.
No, she is from like something, like an old Carry On film, isn't she, I think? This woman.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch the Carry On films, which may surprise a few people. Oh, yeah, Barbara Windsor. But Barbara Windsor's known for more than just the Carry On films. She's known for loads.
But I'm not looking forward to this fortune teller storyline. I think it's awful. Hopefully someone is going to be like, no, this is a load of rubbish, and like show her up. Yeah. They're such manipulators, mediums.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. They basically...
So I hope they
throw a net out of like information, and then as soon as someone kind of grabs the hook, then they take that information and start spinning on it. So oh god, yeah. But
I just hope the show that, and they don't have like, because I know that Chantelle is involved. I don't want to go into too many spoilers. I don't really know, but I know that the medium says something to Chantelle which makes Chantelle think like she knows about her and Gray or something, and it's like really messy and irresponsible to me. It's just
what? So this medium's like, you've got trouble on
about her and Gray
ahead,
and it's like, oh no, don't do that.
Oh no, I'd hate that too. I'd really hate that, because it then kind of puts
false belief in it, like false hope, and I don't know, just
it makes it seem like it's a believable form, and it's not really. That's not really for us to really say, and it's not true.
I'll avoid full judgment until next week. So you have to wait till next week for me to.
Next week, if Ben starts the show with a lay into that scene, then we know that it's going to be very.
It just feels a bit irresponsible and tacky.
Yeah, not the right way to approach the subject.
It feels like something like this is like a medium fortune teller storyline. It's something like a series does when it's in like series 20 and like running out of any.
I mean, EastEnders is
but you know
kind of
I
at
mean.
that point. But
like Bad Girls did it in like the last series, and it just stinks of like.
It would be better if they kind of kept it to the Bailey channeling inverted commas her mum story, and it's manipulates Bailey in such a way that perhaps it gets her in trouble in one way or another. Like she starts taking money from Karen maybe, and she starts doing it, and then so that would be good. But yeah, as you say, if they start doing it as like, oh, I can see that you're in trouble, young girl, young lady, Chantelle.
Who doesn't believe in me over there.
Yeah. That would be silly.
So we'll see how disappointed I'll be.
However, I wonder if the medium could predict Tiff's GCSE results, because she got those this week.
She did, with Kathy and Jean, which is like a nice little mix. 3 generations there.
3 generations. And
3 different families.
Tiff only needed 3 GCSEs to get into the college that she wanted to do fashion. Or is it makeup, isn't it? Makeup artistry.
Yes. Which we predicted, hello.
Yes, we did.
Someone's listening to this.
We said, wouldn't it be great if Tiff did there was a story where Tiff learnt to be a makeup artist.
And then we said, it would be nice if Keegan goes on and like has a real boost in his confidence for wanting like
a career.
A career, and then that happened. What's going on?
Selling sandwiches from the man with trainers.
We're not getting paid for these storylines. I know. Bitterly disappointed.
So Tiff did get her results. Again, not a great lesson to teach kids out there that you don't really need to go to school that often. I did think that
when Jean was like, well, you don't ever go to school, and like Tiff doesn't, let's be fair. And she was like, so you might not get the grades. And then Tiff was like, I got the grades.
Yeah, I passed. Okay. Hooray.
That's a good lesson then.
I mean, Tiff, to be fair...
We're being a bit PC here, but it was a bit like...
But also Tiff is quite intelligent. I mean, you know Tiff is smart. She just got into like the kind of wrong
she's street
crowd.
Smart. Well, she's not that street smart, actually.
No, she's not. In fact, but you get the impression that she is quite with it when it comes to like education. And so... it makes some sense that she may have scraped the grade in order to get her into college.
But she got more grades than Keegan.
Yep, she got more grades than Denise. Denise, let's never forget, has 1 GCSE.
She does, but she did it.
But she runs a business. So we're all okay.
Kathy runs 2 businesses.
I wonder how many... She'd have O-levels.
Yeah.
The age of Kathy. I don't suppose she probably did them. She probably just... No, because she wasn't
Pete.
with... No. Did she marry Pete young? She did marry Pete young, because she's younger than Pete.
She was like... Yeah, she was young. She was about 20, I think.
Yeah. Knowing Pete, he probably dragged her out of university. You don't need that. What do you need education for? You're a woman.
I'm a man.
Make me eggs.
I'll look after you.
Yeah. Woo. And also, Jack is considering joining the police force again.
If he lives long enough.
Yes, that's quite right. He got acquitted for the stabbing
and
the punching and all that. Yeah. And so now the police basically want this reprobate back. I mean, didn't Jack leave the police force because he was basically crooked? So why are the police so desperate to bring back a
weird mate that keeps turning up? I mean, like the mate, like this guy's retiring anyway. So why does he want Jack back if he's retiring?
I mean, they did a kind of like a political stance of, we're so strained in the police force at the moment. Anyone will do.
Well, maybe what they should do, because out of his mates retiring, he should just ask him and Jack to do like some private detective stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd like a
pension money.
I'd like a bit of private detection. Yeah. I mean, Jack does get a few bits and pieces from his mates in the force, doesn't he? So there's no reason why he couldn't do like a more private. Anybody make more money doing it that way? That'd be interesting.
Jack, but he might be dead next week, so maybe his police mate, because he's retiring, he'll be like, "Hi Jack, I've come over. It's my last day on the force before I retire." And then Hunter will shoot him by accident.
He'll jump in front of Jack and take the bullet.
Yeah.
I only had 1 day till retirement.
That old chestnut. Yeah. Just wait for that. Right, so that is the week all talked about and moaned about and praised. So we are going to move on to our final section.
Yeah, a few tweets, messages and Facebook posts from you guys. And also we're going to find out who won the week.
Next.
You know me, I ain't one to gossip.
Yep, it's the end of the show where we find out who has won the week. And also we read out your comments. But before we do any of that, we like to find out who had won the week in the previous years leading up to the present day, as we step into that little time machine of Ben's and ask Ben who'd won the week in the past.
We do. But first, as always, we have birthdays to celebrate.
Yay! If I had a party pop, I'd go pop right now.
So 1 birthday.
Oh, hardly worth the party pop. I'm putting it back away now.
You didn't know whose birthday it is.
Okay, yes, Ben, you're right.
You'll regret this in a minute when you hear whose birthday's been missed out. This man was born 19th of August 1943. He died in 1996 at the age of 52. It's not very old, is it?
No, it's really not. Is it Arthur?
Our beloved.
Arthur
he
Fowler?
Loved this place.
He is Arthur Fowler.
Yeah, Arthur Fowler's birthday. Aww. Martin's on the run. No one's mentioning him. There's no Fowlers.
Well, no one to celebrate, is there? Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Ian could have maybe mentioned Uncle Arthur.
You're Kathy.
Yeah.
That witch. Or Bex.
Bex don't care.
Great granddad Arthur.
Bex is more concerned about whether she wants to work or go to university. She just can't make her mind up yet. Juggling so many thoughts.
So yeah, that was the only birthday, and no deaths in August.
Good.
They obviously wait till next week, don't they? The big week.
I was going to say, you'll probably have a list as long as your arm of deaths next week.
People born, people dying. So the episode I was watching was the 23rd of August, 2016. So not too long ago.
No, 2016.
Kathy was there.
Of course she was.
What else was happening? Kathy was there. She had just been caught on CCTV sleeping with a bald man on camera, but she moved the camera out of the way so it didn't record her. And the restaurant got broken into, and because Kathy moved the camera, they can't claim it on insurance.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
Ian's first thought was, "Mum, why are you sleeping with Grant again?" Even though Grant's not on the show. She said, "No, it's not Grant."
I mean, Grant could just appear. Kathy did.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, Grant. She said it wasn't Grant. It's no one you know. It's just a fling.
Oh, Kathy.
Yeah.
Dirty stop out.
And Stephen was like, well, why did you move the camera then now? She was like, well, I didn't want everyone watching. It's like, that is a point, Kath. But yeah, she was having an affair, wasn't she, with Buster Briggs?
Oh, yeah.
That's who the bold man was.
Shirley never found out about that either, did she?
No, she didn't.
It's always going to be a mystery.
Secret.
One day it's going to come out. Just one day. Just out of the blue.
Well, Kathy told Jane, because Jane was drilling her for information.
After Kathy got drilled, yes, carry on.
She said she loves him. Like, proper loves Buster. I was like, shut up, Kathy.
Well, Buster went around quite a few people. Because before Kathy, it was Carol, wasn't it? And Shirley got very jealous of Carol. Almost to the point that she kind of persuaded her to leave. And she did.
So yeah, that was going on in the Bill house.
Well, the Bill restaurant. What was it called at that point?
Bill's.
It was called Bill's, wasn't it? It was the burger, when they wear the T-shirts with the waistcoat.
Like established, whatever it was.
Yeah, established 2016.
We had Les and Pam arranging Paul's funeral.
Les and Pam could be Lamb.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Honey had found a bag of cocaine in the house. She thought it was Jay's, but it was that time when Roxy was on drugs, and like Jay was taking the blame for it, so Roxy didn't get in trouble.
Oh, okay.
And then Honey kicked Billy and Jay out of the house. They're in the flats downstairs at the moment.
Yeah, well, a few people said that those flats is actually where Mel and Hunter ended up.
Oh, all boarded up.
Yeah. No West Ham memorabilia left behind.
Bex is still a goth.
Of
I didn't
course.
think she was a goth back then, 2016. I thought she was over that. But Shaquille and her were kind of a thing. And guess what? It's his 16th birthday next week.
Uh-oh.
And Bex, he actually asked her this. He goes, Bex, will you have sex with me before? So he wants to have sex with Bex before his 16th for some reason.
Yeah, well, Bex should feel honoured to be his first and perhaps only.
Oh yeah, it probably was his only.
Oh, I know. Sad to think of it. Yeah, Stacey.
And also, Tina and Sonia are living together with Sylvie in the house, and Bex is really horrible. Actually, they ask Bex if she can look after Sylvie so they can all go out together for the first time.
Yeah.
Bex is like, Sylvie, she ain't my problem.
Yeah, but then Sonia does the same later on, and it just
true.
leaves it with Tina to look after.
But Bex was really horrible. Like, it wasn't like Bex at all. It was really weird. It's only a few years ago.
Yeah, but she was a bit bitter when she first was introduced, wasn't she? She was angry that she got adopted.
But yeah, Tina finds out from Martin, who's like bitter and drunk on his own. I don't know why. Couldn't be bothered to watch that. But he tells Tina that Sonia's having a surgery, but Tina doesn't know. So Sonia's kept secrets from her, but she's having a surgery about this like cancer gene or something.
Oh yeah, because her mum had it.
And it skipped Bianca, but Sonia had the gene.
Yeah, Carol had cancer, so then obviously a vasectomy, I presume.
Yeah, it was something like that. But so they had a big barmy, and she said, Sonia told Tina, "I can't tell you anything because you just act like a kid with feathers in your hair." I
mean, again, nothing's
not
really
changed.
No, with Tina. Yeah, Sonia's a bit snotty still, and Tina's a bit childlike.
Yeah. I mean, my best thing from the whole episode, which I've not even talked about, is Aunt Babe was being really horrible to Sylvie, and it was amazing.
You know,
Aunt
I
Babe
love that.
Is so good.
I loved it when Aunt Babe just left her next to the canal to drown. Well, no, because she was on the side of the canal, but she was encouraging her to jump in, wasn't she?
Well, they were all having sandwiches at Sonia's for like a celebration, and she told Sylvie that she said, "I thought you didn't eat fatty products." She was like, "I don't. And she was like, well, that butter on there, that's full fat butter. And like she winked at Lee and like it got Sylvie all upset. But like she's so horrible and manipulative. But I love it. I love Aunt Babe. The way she delivers her lines.
Because that's how Aunt Babe was introduced, wasn't it? She was looking after Sylvie. She was in that house by herself and she begged people to kind of like take her away from it. So she kind of begrudgingly had Aunt Babe coming back to the square. And so that's why Tina was left to be responsible for her.
Yeah, I love Aunt Babe. She's so good.
Yeah.
That's what she needs to bring back the Carters a bit.
Do you remember when Abby locked Aunt Babe in the freezer?
Oh yeah, nearly murdered her.
Yeah.
Then they became best friends.
Yeah, BFF. Well, no. They were BFFs before, but they had that really tempestuous relationship.
Yeah, that was like, I like you, Abby.
Yeah, you're one of
like
me. You're just like me. Yeah, she did say that, I think, as well. She was like, you and me, we're quite similar. Thank you very much. That was a lovely week.
Yeah.
Lots of things happened in that week.
One episode.
2016, that was a strong year, and then it kind of...
Dominic Treadwell Collins.
Yeah, the roller coaster, then kind of everyone wanted to get off at that point. So, who won the week this week? There are 4 options. Let's see Ben's reactions to each one. Normally, we can gauge who's won by Ben's reaction. There's Phil's Showdown.
Yep, very good.
Mel's Agony.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I want to say...
that was quite last minute.
It was very last minute, so I think it kind of lost a few votes because people voted before
the big one.
Yeah, before the end of Friday.
Hunter's big one.
Bailey's Guiding Star.
No.
And Carter Panic.
Oh, no.
So, of the 2 that you said no about, which one do you think came last? Because it was between Bailey's Guiding Star and Carter Panic.
Mick, because everyone was drawn in by the fake Bailey music thing online.
Yeah, so Mick came last with 11% of the vote. Third was Mel's Agony. As I said, I think people voted early on and really didn't give it a chance.
Not fair.
17% of the vote. Bailey's Guiding Star came second with 22% of the vote, and Phil's Showdown got a whole 50%. I mean, there were 2 very good scenes. As we said, the Kat and Phil scene was excellent, and then the Ben and Phil scene was powerhouse. It was just fantastic. Really good scenes for the soap.
Yeah, Jesse Wallace and Steve acting together is what we like.
Yeah, why
Getting
not?
on.
It's nice to see them trusted to have those scenes together as well. And that kind of real-life animosity kind of helped them out as well, I think. In my opinion. A few comments. On Facebook, you can find us by searching EastEnders Weekly Podcast on Facebook and then clicking to join the group. Cindy Calloway has said, when her family gave her that telescope, it was the sweetest scene of the whole episode. Maybe the week. James Reed on Facebook said, loved all of the Hunter and Mel scenes tonight. It was such a thriller. I agree. It was really good. Really hooked. On our Twitter, you can find us...
I want to do Twitter.
Okay,
one on Twitter.
Well, let me just say that people can find us on Twitter by going to @EastEndersWeek. What do you have on Twitter, Ben?
Well, Michael Perry of This Morning fame
and QVC. Yes.
Yeah, I watched on QVC the other day.
Yeah, we did. We didn't buy anything. Sorry.
Can't afford it. Not in the budget of 0.
That's right. If people want to pay us to do this, then we'll buy things on QVC.
But he tweeted us and says, "Sorry, I'm spamming you tonight. Maybe you'll mention me on your podcast if I continue." So, Michael Perry of This Morning and QVC fame.
The plant guy.
Very tall.
Very tall, and he's got quite a few stories on his Instagram as well. He does enjoy his Instagram stories.
So he has to say, 1, the policewoman has nice hair, which we've mentioned, yes. She has a shaved head.
Yes.
Bobby Bill runs off at least once per episode.
That is true. I've not heard any of these tweets, so this is all new to me.
Very observant.
Thank you very much.
What's with the new Pilates fitness trend?
Yeah, I didn't really mention it, but there was that really weird, not weird actually, I really enjoyed it. It was quite endearing, the incidental scene between Honey and Ruby when they were walking from their Pilates.
With their yoga mats and stuff.
And they were saying, Pilates is much more harder work than a lot of people give account for.
He says, is Hunter's beard stuck on?
It was. I must say, it was very much like when you see like a 16-year-old boy. Yeah, when a 16-year-old boy wants to grow his first beard.
He does look better with a bit of something there, though. Hunter, the actor, Chaz.
Do you think it was a fake one, or do you think that was a grown?
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He looked good in about 5 years' time. His beard will
But he looked like he's
better.
put on a bit like he was quite skinny when he was Hunter before. He looks a bit more mature. He looks a lot better.
Rapping money.
I watched some of his videos on Instagram today.
Did you?
He's in a car, like being filmed, but like not being filmed.
Oh right.
And, and the music starts, and it's playing for about 30 seconds. This music, and he's not like in it yet because he's waiting for the beat, and he keeps going, It was like I was like, it's about 30 seconds. He's not started yet, and he just kept going, and like moving his hoodie up and down, so it was annoying.
Well, kind of like pulling his shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, for God's sake. Well, I was on there trying to see if he'd had beard still, but he doesn't.
Is he on Spotify?
Probably. He's under Chaz.
Well, you carry on.
Z.
I'm going to have a look on Spotify while you're doing this.
He also said Rainie is great comedy gold, and he said, "Isn't Ruby a pushy friend? I modelled myself on her." So that's what the Plant Geek said this week. I'm sure, hopefully, it'll be an ongoing thing where he'll say something next week.
I hope so. We can make it a feature. We can have a theme music, which is the beginning of
Oh yeah, we can get. We'll ask Chaz to do a little intro
for the plant guy.
Yeah.
And each week, so plant guy, carry on messaging us, and for as long as you message us, we'll carry on reading them out. That's our promise. So what's Chaz's surname on the?
No, it's just Chaz with a Z.
Well, it's not
Chaz.
He's not on Instagram. He's not on Spotify.
He's too cool for that.
There's Chaz and Dave.
No,
Chaz and Dave's more
cool.
our
His
style.
music isn't anywhere. That's how cool he is. And new.
He just does it on YouTube. So
It's
he's not
nowhere.
So, how are you meant to listen to
joking.
him?
I don't know, but his name's Chaz with a Z now, not Charlie Winters.
How many subscribers has he got on YouTube? Maybe we could get some over to us. No.
It's all on Instagram.
Okay, well I'll go to his Instagram later.
I've not looked that in depth to it. It's annoying. But
So
we'll ask Tamsin Elfway if he'll mind.
For
She'll let us
permission.
know. His mum.
Yeah.
TV mum.
I'm sure you won't mind. It's good publicity for him.
That's true.
Yeah. On our Instagram, which you can find us by looking at EastEnders Weekly Podcast.
Chaz is on Instagram.
He is, as are we. We've got a long one here, so just see if you can fathom a few things.
So does Chaz.
Oh, goodness me, stop. Right, so EastEnders Nostalgia has written to us and said...
Oh, I like their Instagram.
Yes, excellent. So do follow them. Melton Hunter was an unexpected highlight, even though he's been away. I swear Charlie Winter has improved tenfold. Obviously, Ben and Phil Showdown was top-notch stuff too. However, the week was dragged down for me by the Bailey and Carter stuff. And worst of all, that music.
Oh, that again.
He agrees. There's 100 strands about it on different social medias.
I know, it's everywhere.
Everyone's talking about it. Not only is it poorly edited in, but it is so unnecessary and does not suit the show in the slightest.
I agree. It's very Hollyoaks.
Now there is more, and he says about maybe messaging points of view. So do you reckon that's something we should do? Maybe send a letter to points of view. Send a letter. That's my age. Send a letter to points of view. Points of view for anyone outside of the UK who doesn't know.
It's the best TV show on TV.
It's basically a BBC show where if people's got a complaint to make, they send it to... It's now Twitter or their Twitter account or their Instagram account, or send an email, and basically they read them out in this kind of 15-minute episode where people basically do this reading out letters of complaint for people's enjoyment to listen to, because normally they're all a bit dumb.
And they're always voice-overed as well, with
yes.
who they think the person writing the letter would sound like.
Yeah.
And it's always, good viewing.
They used to use their actual real voices, but I think people got a bit... Because at the time, the technology wasn't good enough to have a very clear voice. So now they have actors doing it instead.
Very good.
So thank you, EastEnders Nostalgia. If anyone wants to send us a message, you can also email us, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. And as I say, you can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Just search our name and then click to join the group. As I said, the community in all of those is excellent. And it's always good to have a chat with everyone who's on there. We tweet live every time EastEnders is broadcast in the UK on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday.
We also have exclusive spoiler video on YouTube every Tuesday morning too.
That's exactly right.
Set your alarms, I do.
Yep, like you do, so you can make sure it's posted. Yeah, so if you find us on YouTube, same way, just search EastEnders Weekly or EastEnders Weekly Podcast and you'll find us on YouTube. And you can also, if you subscribe and ring that bell, you can also get in your inbox any exclusive news stories that have been released, because we release them ourselves on YouTube at the same time.
That's right. Well, that's that done. I don't know about you, but I'm off to listen to Chaz's 4 EPs.
I cannot wait.
Oh.